Hello, welcome back to Creative Exploration with Purz. Here we are, episode 82. Holy cow. Today I'm going to play with Flux ControlNet. Been a lot of developments in the Flux ControlNet space, so I figured we'd dive in and test out the different models and see how they do and what they do and how they interact with Flux in general. So today we'll be playing with Flux Dev. If you need to set that all up, I have videos on that. Look, the one with me and MJ, Midjourney Man, setting up Flux and getting that going, or check any other tutorial on how to set up Flux. I'm also going to walk you through how to set up Flux workflow today too. So the only thing I'm not going to cover is like downloading the Flux models and stuff, but you can go do that. They're all available on Hugging Face. It's easy peasy. All right. It is kind of intermediate to advanced, but if it's your first time with ControlNet, that's fine. If you don't know what ControlNet is, it's like method of pre-processing images and then using those pre-processed images to drive the diffusion and sort of paint by numbers into certain spaces. There's depth maps, there's edge detection, there's line art, there's pose. You know, if you've been on this channel before, you've seen me use ControlNet 1,000 times, so highly doubt this is your first dance with ControlNet. But yeah. Let's just start by building out a simple Flux workflow with Comfy, and then we'll add the ControlNet aspect to it, and we'll start playing with it. The first ControlNet model I'm going to play with today is by Jasper AI. It's the Flux Dev ControlNet Depth. The link is in the description below. You just download this diffusion PyTorch model.savetensors file and then rename it to something like this, Flux1 Dev ControlNet Depth .savetensors, and put it in your ControlNet folder in your models directory. It's easy peasy. Just rename it so you don't forget what it is, because a lot of these are just called diffusion PyTorch blah blah.savetensors. So download it, rename it, plop it in place, and we'll start with depth, and then we'll try I've seen some other ones too. There's a soft edge and a few other ones, so we'll try them too. But let's start with depth. So let's start by just building out a very simple. I think we're going to use the load diffusion model loader, which loads the Flux1 Dev unet. So go download Flux1 Dev.sft, and you're also going to need the AE.VAE file, or AE.savetensors file, the VAE file. That stuff's all on, if you just search Flux Dev, it's literally all right here. You just go files and versions and download the large Flux1 Dev savetensors. Put that in your models folder under the unet folder, and then the VAE file, we need the AE.savetensors, and that goes in your models VAE folder. So yeah, easy peasy. If you've never set up Flux before, that's where those go. And that's where this is pulling those from, is that models unet folder. All right, and we're going to pick the FP8 E4M3FN weight type for less memory consumption. All right, so that VAE I was talking about, I'm going to load VAE and load that too. And that's the AE.sft file. .sft is the same as .savetensors. So if you see a .sft file, all that means is just a short form version of .savetensors. It's same file, same file. Okay. We got our model, we got our VAE. We're going to leave the LoRa's out of this for now. We can always add one after, but for now we're just going to kind of go vanilla dev with ControlNet and see how it functions. Okay, so we've got our model loaded. We've got our VAE. So we need a few more things. We need a Flux text encoder. Text encode. Is there a special one for Flux, or am I getting mixed up with Cog? I think I'm getting it mixed up with Cog. That's fine. So let's make 2 of these clip text encodes. This is going to be our positive and negative prompt. Oh, that's right. I need a special Flux conditioning guidance node. So Flux guidance. So we're going to want one of these nodes after each of these, so we can control the amount of strength on our positive and negative prompt. All right, and then we're going to need a K-sampler, as always. So that'll be positive and negative. Our latent image will be an empty latent image. Put that over here, and we're going to set our resolution here. We're going to start with, I don't know, 768 by 1344. Actually, I'm going to do something else for the resolution. Since I'm going to want to rescale the ControlNet images that we're bringing in to match the resolution of our thing, of our canvas, I'm only going to match up, or I'm going to only put this in one place so that we only have to edit it one place. Then we can grab those values in that one place and put them in multiple places. This will make sense in a second. So right now I'm going to add a primitive integer. All right. So we're going to make 2 of these, and this is going to be our width and height. So you can go ahead and just rename these right away so you don't go crazy. Title. Yeah, title. We're going to call this height. Oh, no, that one's width. Title. So you are width, and this one is height. So this is our resolution. We're going to convert width and height on this node here. Convert to input. Convert to input. Width and height. So that's going to turn them into little dots instead of widgets. Then we're going to plug these into here, and this is going to become our width and height. So anytime we need to know the width and height or destination width and height, we can pull them from these 2 values. So we're going to say 768 by 1344. So that'll be like Instagram sort of style portrait. All right. Get all this stuff kind of aligned here. We're going to leave some room for the ControlNet. Let's grab that latent image from our empty latent image. And the model comes from the diffusion model. VAE is going to go into our VAE decoder, which we need to take our latent image and turn it into an actual image. So then we'll pop a save image node at the end here. And and we're going to put this in the Flux stream Flux directory so we can go in and see them. All right, this is Flux. Let's start with 25 steps, CFG of 1. Sampler Euler is fine, and the scheduler will use beta. Full denoise because we're going from an empty image, and we can randomize the seed for now. That's all fine. So this is just a basic Flux setup. This will get you going and ready to render images in Flux. And then we'll add ControlNet to it in just a minute. But let's make sure it works. And we'll color everything, and I'll do a zoom in so you guys can screenshot it if you need to, build it. Actually, you guys are yellow because your guidance. Purple. Red, green. Actually, no, all the loaders are green. And I usually make anything that's editable or a loader, I usually make green, as well as the positive prompt. Let's add NSFW nude, and let's add a person holding a sign that says, "Hello, YouTube." Okay, so Flux Dev 1's going to load FP8. Oh, you know what else we need? We need clips because we're using the diffusion model loader. We actually need to load our clips. So let's do a dual clip loader because this is Flux. So we need 2 clips. We need the T5 FP8 FP8 E4M 3FN.SafeTensors and clip L. Both of these are available in the manager. Go to manager, custom nodes, sorry, not custom nodes, model manager, and search for T5. And it's this one right here, Google T5 version 1 XXL encoder only FP8 E34M or E4M 3FN. It's about 5 gigs, and it's this one right here. So go ahead, download that. And once it's done, it will show up in your dropdown in the dual clip loader. So we need this clip, and we also need to put this in Flux mode. So those are the settings there. You need the T5 and the clip L because it's how Flux works, and then you type Flux. And then we take our clip and plug it into both the positive and negative clip inputs. All right. That is a basic, workable, simple Flux image generator. And let's see if it works. Now this loaded fast because I've already loaded this Flux model earlier when I was testing stuff. So if this takes a long time when you're starting it, that's normal. It takes like, you know, a minute or two to load the model up into memory and stuff. If you have less than 24 gigs of VRAM, which is pretty much everybody, unless you have a 30 or a 4090, you will need to get probably the GGUF FP8 weights. I believe Kajai has them available. They're smaller. They fit inside your memory. The Flux takes like 21 or something gigs of VRAM, I think, unless you use one of the, you know, things. Hello, YouTube. Nailed it. Nailed it. Even got the logo. All right. So let's add ControlNet and see what we can do. Hello, YouTube. So apply ControlNet advanced. That one right there. Yep. So we need a few things. Let's go bottom up. We need the VAE, the image. We need the ControlNet loader and the positive and negative prompts. So with all ControlNets, the prompt goes through ControlNet into the K sampler. So I've actually moved these in two stupid places. 1 sec. Here, you go there. You go back over here. Okay. So our ControlNet's going to fit between our clip and our K sampler on the conditioning chain. So we're using our positive and negative conditioning, and those just feed through the ControlNet nodes. So, you know, if you wanted more than one ControlNet, you would literally just add another row of these, copy, paste, plug it through, and you just water wheel them through one after the other. But we're just going to do one ControlNet for now. Okay. ControlNet. We're going to do a ControlNet loader advanced, and I'm going to load up the Flux Dev ControlNet that I put in the description below. So that goes in your ControlNet folder and everything. One of these days I'll add NSFW new to the wrong prompt. I've done that before. Which is NSFW necessary in the negative when dealing with Flux? I just do it on YouTube just in case. It's pretty rare for Flux to give you nudes, you know, unprompted, and even prompted. It's you know, not really designed for that. But yeah, screw it. I'd rather not take the chance. Okay, so when I added these width and height, I did that because I need to set these again now, because when I use an image for ControlNet, I want it to be the same width and height as our destination. So we're going to resize and crop into whatever image we put in to the correct size so that our image is aspect correct. So let's load image, and we'll just, we can start with this cat image actually. And so what we want to do with the cat image is add an image upscale, or an image scale rather, which is upscale image. Image scale, all one word, or upscale image, 2 words, because all Comfy nodes have 2 names. Okay, so image goes into image. Image through is going to go into our, I'm going to use depth anything version 2 relative, which is available with the ComfyUI ControlNet, the auxiliary preprocessor node pack. You probably already have it, but if you don't for some crazy reason, just search for ControlNet and it'll be right there. ComfyUI's ControlNet auxiliary. Well, I really can't say that word. Preprocessors. This is what we use to generate the ControlNet images from existing images to use with ControlNet models. To install that, it'll give you this node here, which is depth anything version 2 relative. This is the most robust depth mapper I've found. They're all good for their own thing, but this one is the most, like, it always just seems to sort of do the thing without much trouble, which is what we like. So we're going to preview image so we can see what our depth map looks like, and we're also going to feed that into our ControlNet. So we're not actually feeding the image straight into ControlNet. We're turning it into a depth map, and then we're using that with the depth map ControlNet in order to affect the image. So when I run this, it's going to be way too like, because it's at 101. I'll talk about the strengths as we do this, but this will demonstrate why. This is going to be extremely like over. It'll probably just be kind of gray soup with in the shape of this cat, and we'll examine why after. But let's try running it. Preview colors. Oh, the cat is squished because I did not enable the crop center. We want to do that. So cancel Q. And you'll notice when I rerun it, this time the cat should be at least the correct size. Yeah. Oh, another thing I forgot to do was plug the width and height into here. So let's convert the width and height on the image into a, I talked about it and then forgot to do it. Width and height into here. So now when I run this, it's going to take this image, crop it center, and rescale it to this size, which is what we want because this is our target destination. So these pixels will perfectly align with these, you know, the canvas, and then the image won't be all wonky and out of shape. Yeah, you can leave the resolution of depth anything at 512. That's fine. Well, see, it went a little too hard because the strength is so high, but it absolutely stuck to the depth map like crazy. So, you know, ControlNet for Flux exists and it's here and awesome. But yeah, good point. Let's set it to 768 resolution because that's our width. See if it makes any difference. What it should do is help with any of this sort of like edges where it's a little blocky, but as you can tell from the implementation of ControlNet, like we're not there enough for it to matter yet. But yeah, down the road, absolutely higher res on the depth map. Take a little longer to process, but it'll probably give you a nicer depth map. Okay. So like I happen to know that the good settings, what they are, so let's just change them. So 0.6, 0.6. So what we're doing here is we're telling ControlNet to only sort of use 60% of its strength. So 60% of the time it's going to ControlNet. 40% of the time it's just going to let it dream wildly. So this is then connected with the start and end percent with ControlNet. That doesn't have to do necessarily with the start frame and end frame, but the time in which the image or animation renders. So with like animate diff or anything else in Comfy, as you know, when you do an animation, you're not actually doing it frame by frame. You're rendering the entire animation in one go. So when you change these settings, start and end percent, it's not like for the first 60 frames of the video, it'll do this. And then for the last 80 frames of the video, it'll do that. It's not that. It's actually the amount of, as the diffusion happens, the steps. So start percent means if it's at 0, that means at 0, ControlNet will be at 60% strength. And then when it gets about 60% of the way through the run here, that end percent's at 60, it's going to stop. It's going to stop looking at ControlNet completely and just let it dream wildly. So for 60% of the run, we are going to give ControlNet 60% strength. And then the last 40%, it's sort of allowed to run wild. And that strength will be 0 at 60% because our end percent is at 60. So yeah, play with it. But the point is start and end percent, that coordinates with when the ControlNet takes hold during the run, and the strength is how hard it takes hold. So yeah, you're basically deciding when you want to clamp the dream to the ControlNet and when you want to just let it dream. So let's try that, and let's try a cat in a suit of armor. That's what the input image was. Let's get rid of Steam because we don't need it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I saw there was a head, a soft edge control net. I saw there was depth. I think there's a pose one maybe, and I think I saw some upscaling like in painting or not in painting, like tile ones, but I haven't played with those yet. Boop boop boop. Hey, not bad actually, not bad at all. Really held to it. Good job. Try and get this the same size here. Yeah. You know what else we could do? We could add an image compare and plug in this and this. And then we get a nice little rollover thing. But yeah, yeah, that turned out great. Let me grab something else. Let's try a picture of me looking stupid. Man looking extremely bewildered. It's a 43-year-old man looking extremely bewildered. Can Dev ControlNet be used with Schnell? I have no idea. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But I haven't tried it. Salo says, hey, sorry for off topic. I was looking for the COG video community that you mentioned in the last stream with Kytra. Oh, that's Banodoko. Banodoko, BANODOCO.ai, I believe is their website, but it's actually a Discord. So just join the Discord off the website and look for the CogX video channel. That's where all of the research is being done right now with all the tools that are available to us for ComfyUI and all that stuff. It's sort of the community of researchers and tinkerers. So yeah, if you're not on Banodoko, I highly recommend checking it out. Oh, perfect. Actually, that's really, really good. That's really, really good. Nice. Kytra. Let's see. What does it do with something like, I got some memes here. Let's try Leo. Man holding out a glass. Cheers. Minimum GPU required to run this. Let's find out. I am currently using 21.2 gigabytes of VRAM to do Flux Dev with ControlNet. So I'm going to say you might have a bad time on less than 16 gigs. But there are other models other than this one that I'm like the one I was talking about, the GGUF, the GGUF FPA version. I don't think so, Tybod. Also, hey, man. I mean, if there are, I'm not in them. That's pretty good. It knows there's a person there, and they've got a drink. So what if we do like elephant eating a watermelon? How we doing? Oh, here's our little comparer. Oh no, I wanted the depth map as the input. Yeah. Derp. Looks just like him. 3 GB. Reefman says he's got Flux Dev FP8 running locally on his 3 GB 1060. That's wild. That's absolutely wild. Okay, we got the stem of the glass. There's, you know, elephant sort of where he is, sort of a watermelon. This is pretty surprising. I'm surprised this works as well as it does. These are not the results I was getting before the stream, so I'm glad it works better. Let's try one does not simply use Flux Dev ControlNet. A man correcting someone else's speech. 15 minutes per image. Oh my god. Congrats. That might be the lowest amount of VRAM I've seen anybody get that working on. You win. You win the prize. I don't know what the prize is, but you win it. Yeah, exactly, Taz. All right. I wonder. Oh, weird. That one it didn't get at all. Some things it does get, like the shape of his stomach is the jawline of the person. It's interesting. You can see the pant leg, I guess, is the V of the chest. Yeah. You can see how it got there, but it is weird. So like that begs the question, what do you change to get it closer, right? So let's try increasing the strength and see what that does. So I'll change it from 0.6 to 0.8. Yeah, unfortunately it's a little more expensive, but working on this stuff on the cloud is just a much nicer experience. It gets it's hard on your machine. You know, if you're trying to do this and maybe some other stuff, or if you're trying to edit the stuff you're working on at the same time, you can start running out of RAM. I don't know why my previews aren't working though. That's odd. I forget where the little settings button is. Oh, okay. Yeah, nailed it. So maybe you don't want it to be too close. Gross. All right. Let's try this doofus. A man laughing maniacally. Just working on new YouTube thumbnails, I'll be doing a stream on this pretty soon. It's basically they figured out how to turn live portrait into like a real-time facial expression editor, but it's gotten a lot more complex lately. There's one called Poke Face, I believe now, and instead of like sliders for all the things, it actually uses the media pipe face pose stuff. So you can like grab the eyebrow and pull it up and tilt the head and grab the nose, and almost like a character editor in a video game, but with real pictures of real people. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that stream real soon, probably Wednesday or Thursday. Just check out all the advancements in live portrait and all that stuff. So yeah, that'll be a fun stream. Been playing with Face Fusion 3 a lot too. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know if I love the braces. Are those teeth in his eyes? I hate it. So what if we try like a turkey sandwich? Is it going to figure out how to make a turkey sandwich out of this? Hey Bennett, that usually means you're either using the wrong ControlNet or the wrong model. Like one of the models is mismatched. Generally, like that error usually comes from like trying to use like a SDXL ControlNet with like a SD15 checkpoint and stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure, but it might be something in there. Does Pokeface does not have a comfy version, but there is a version of the live portrait face expression editor real-time live portrait thingamajig for comfy. I just don't remember the name of it, so search for that. Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, a lot of turkey, and it is wearing glasses, but you know, hey, I'm gonna go back to 60% because this is strange. Yeah, Bennett, if you hop on my Discord and paste a screenshot of your Flux workflow in the help channel, either me or somebody else can help you troubleshoot that real fast. I'm sure that's just a quick little fix. If you guys want to do the same, Patreon, Discord, everything, all are on Purz.xyz. Head over there, head over to the Discord, drop your problems in the help channel. Give us as much info as you can, relevant logs, screenshots. Don't just say my comfy's broken. Nobody can help you. But, yeah, if you need help, there's a bunch of people there that can help. If you need help, Banadoko is also full of people that can help. Don't sit in a vacuum and try and figure it out yourself, because all of us ask people, all of us ask friends, like all of us, nobody's figuring all this stuff out on their own is what I'm trying to tell you. You can't really be an island with this stuff. It's totally fine to ask people, because like we've all been playing with this stuff, and if we pool our knowledge, we all get faster together. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask. Well, yeah, I mean, this is working great. I'm super stoked on the depth. Let's try the head one, I guess. See what that looks like. Head ControlNet AI. I think it's this one. This one's 2 months old. I don't even know if this one works with the default ControlNet loader, but we'll try it. If it doesn't, I'm not going to install the Flux nodes for this, but I'll try another one. Have I experimented with dough and steerable motion? Yep, they are fun. Go check them out. They're on Banadoko also. Whole communities there, really. All right. So let's try putting this in our AI models ControlNet folder under my Flux folder. Bleep. I think I already had this one. Yeah, smart. Okay, I'm gonna just try and load this head version 3 one with our existing thing and see what happens. This is the type of F around and find out stuff that Comfy's all about. So again, I could ask someone, but who reads the manual? Flux head ControlNet version 3. Okay, So instead of the depth preprocessor that we used to do depth, we need a soft edge preprocessor. Luckily, all the preprocessors are contained in one node. So delete your depth. Let's add an AIO, all-in-one aux preprocessor. AIO, aux preprocessor. All right, and we're going to change that to HED preprocessor because we're using the HED ControlNet. And if you want to know what that looks like, we will plug this into this, and this into this, and this into this, and this into this. Same as we had the other one hooked up. So it's running out to the preview image, it's running out to the comparer, and it's running out to the ControlNet itself. It's being resized by this resize node, this image, and then it's going to be turned into a soft edge map. And this is going to tell us the edges of everything. So it's going to try to use these as the guiding edges for the dream. And then as you can imagine, you can then stack depth and edges and line art and all this stuff at different strengths. And all of a sudden you have full compositional control of your image. So yeah, pretty sweet. I might rent a server for this next time to get the faster generations, honestly. Perfect. It looks just like me. Honestly, that head ControlNet's really good. So let's now it's not a turkey sandwich, which is what I asked for, but it does seem the skin does seem to have the consistency of bread. I hate that mouth though, a lot. So let's, yeah, I really got the edges though. Holy cow. Let's combine. Why use just one ControlNet when you can use multiple? We only need one upscale image node because we're going to use two different preprocessors, right? So we're going to use our head preprocessor, and then we're just going to copy this entire stack here. Copy, paste, Control-C, Control-V. What did I say? Conditioning, straight through. Easy peasy. Now we have depth. Where are you? Depth and head. Both at 60%. So this might cause some problems because, we actually have to replace this preprocessor with the, what was it? Depth. Anything relative. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Upscale image into that out into this, that out into the preview image. Excuse me. Let's change these to 768. Get a little higher quality maps. Why not? All right. And we don't really need the image compare node anymore, I guess, because we would have to compare 3 images and the whole thing. But what we could do, though, is add a image concatenate. This is one way to always sort of be able to view your stuff side by side at the same res, which is important when you want to compare things. But for this case, I just want to display the 3 of them together. So I'm actually going to add an image concatenate multi. This is from the KJ nodes pack. You set the amount of inputs you want, and then you refresh the inputs. And then I can say, I want to take this image as 1, this image is 2, and then the final render as 3. I decide what direction to grid them out in this direction, I'm going right. And you match image size if they're not the same size, but I happen to know these are all the same size because I resized them all to be the same size. Then you just pop another save image underneath that and just call it like Flux Stream, like grid or something like that. So what that's going to do is when it's done, it's going to put the 2 preprocessors and then the final image all side by side. So you can get an idea of, what everything is and what it looks like. Oh. Hey, look, we just hit your exact error, bud. Let's see if I can figure out what the problem is. I don't think I plugged a VAE into either of them. So let's plug our VAE in. I think you just need to update, Bennett. Update everything and make sure you got VAEs plugged into your ControlNet nodes. Yep, that's what it was. Bet you $5. That's what it is. Bet you 5 Fortnite V-Bucks. I would have to buy some V-Bucks to pay that bet. I don't play Fortnite. I'm too old and slow. I really hate this picture. It's awful. $60 a week for an A40, eh? That's pretty good. Are there newer versions of the preprocessors like depth version 2 for depth? No. The preprocessors and the ControlNets are actually separate. The ControlNet models are trained on images made by the preprocessors, but the preprocessor doesn't necessarily have to match exactly the model you're using. So sometimes, oh God, we made like a potato person. Okay, so I think the head is too strong. Let's back that off to like 0.3, so like 30% on the edges. Let's see what that does. And we'll try to do less of a like potato skin person. Oh, nightmare fuel. We are not in the pretty realism side of AI right now. If you're here for that, it's not what we're doing. We're in the let's plumb the latent space for nightmares side of AI, and that's where I tend to live most of the time. So, you know, you probably won't see a lot of like pleasing imagery and stuff in my streams. So if this stuff is, grosses you out, then, ugh. Yeah. Okay, so I am still asking for a turkey sandwich, so it is kind of doing the thing, honestly. So instead of a turkey sandwich, let's try a man laughing maniacally. And let's see if it can kind of like get back to a person. Because it's definitely turning my face into a giant, disgusting turkey sandwich, I guess. Like, that's very white bready. Actually, it looks just like moldy bread with like lumps in it. Yeah, Team Max headroom, exactly. ComfyUI. Okay, should be a human person now, maybe? Okay, yeah, that's a human person. So yeah, let's try and get those in. So it's using 60% of this, 30% of this to make this. Which is a lot closer to the input than would be to like just, VAE decode it and stuff. So maybe instead of like a person, we could try like a bowling ball and bowling pins. Like I wonder how abstract it can get from these control nets. Yeah, they recently updated these Apply ControlNet nodes to have VAE inputs for this specifically. So I'm pretty sure that's what that error was from. Also, adding VAEs to these fixed that error. So Yes, that is 2 bowling balls. I don't see any pins, but it is absolutely doing the ControlNet thing. Awesome. Okay, so what other Flux ControlNets are there? I see a Canny one. Let's see if there's a later version of that. Flux Canny. Oh, there it is. Version 3. Let's try it. Files, downloads. I'm just searching Hugging Face for Flux ControlNet. So you can do the same. Go try ControlNet models, see what they do. Sometimes you can plug the wrong preprocessors into the right or wrong preprocessors into the wrong control nets and get really cool results. So you don't have to do anything correctly. The only thing that ever has to be correct is the architecture. Like, and even then, sometimes you didn't hear this from me, but some 1.5 lores work in Flux. What's that about? I don't know. Machine Delusions thinks that it's because maybe they were trained more on the clip L side of things before the T5 came around, so they might be more susceptible to the trigger word. I don't know, but I've tested it myself, and some SD15 lores work with Flux. That sort of stuff should never work. I don't know why it does, but here we are. Okay, our file's done. Let's grab that and put it in our models, ControlNet. Yeah. Put that in Flux. Oh, I already had it. Bingo. That's how it's done. Always download files you already have. All right, let's find out. I'll get rid of this. We're just going to go straight Canny, see what it does. Once again, we don't need this depth anything. We're going to use the all-in-one aux preprocessor. This should all be old hat for you guys now. We've done this like 4 times already. Grab that upscale image out, pop it in the AIO out to the preview and into the ControlNet, and then also into this thing, which we only need 2 inputs for now because we're only using 1 ControlNet. And pop this out here. 1, 2, 1, 2, and yeah, that was fast. All right, 768, and we got to make sure we are using the Canny Edge preprocessor. Okay, let's keep it with bowling ball and bowling pins and switch it over to Canny, Flux Canny version 3. All right. Oh, somehow my negative prompt got disconnected. I don't have any examples, no, but you just try it. If you got some 1.5 lowers and you got Flux, just try it. It worked. It's crazy. Okay, so this Canny Edge preprocessor is actually not great. There might be... Oh, let me just see if there's an actual Canny... Yeah, see, so there's this node pack called MagickWand, Magic M-A-G-I-C-K, and it uses Image Magick, which is a powerful image manipulation system for Python. It lets you do like a million things, but they've actually made a node for all the things, like all the things Image Magick can do. There's a node for, so you can basically like once you've installed Image Magick, it's all on the GitHub. Once you've installed it, if you go to the Image Magick nodes, like everything that Image Magick can do, you can now do in Comfy, all with separate nodes. One of those things is a Canny preprocessor that lets you actually control the sort of the strength and the way Canny works. So like for this one, for instance, like this is cool. It's on my glasses. You can see that. It's on my, that, but it really only just added glasses to a bunch of stuff. That's not really what we want. We want to try to get a better preprocessor image than this one. So let's try plugging this in here. Plug this in here and this in here and get rid of this one and move you down, pull this up here and get this up here. So this is maybe a better preprocessor. I'm not sure. Let's run it and see if it does the same thing by default. So it does the same thing by default. Oh yeah, we can also plug that in here. So let's try playing with some of these settings. So our lower percent is 0.1, our upper percent is 30. So let's try like cranking that up to 80 and see what that does. So that does less. So what if we do like 0.2? There we go. We're getting more stuff now. So we want 0.15 maybe. We want to try to get as much detail without it looking stupid. And we'll just keep adjusting these values and see what they do. So I think 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 5 is a pretty detailed Canny map. So let's see if this bowling ball has a beard now. We can also try increasing the strength of the Canny ControlNet. I have no idea how it reacts in relation to the depth and things like that. We're using depth at a lower amount, so maybe this one's better at a higher amount, better at a lower amount. Who knows? This is how we test. Okay, kind of got my head. Totally ignored my beard. Glasses. So maybe this in conjunction with depth is a good way to get the edges, because these edges actually seem better than the head edges. Especially, like in the glasses and stuff. So let's try this with depth. Once again, get rid of this, add a depth. Relative. I do this stuff over and over again because it beats it into your head how to do it. A smarter person would have kept all this stuff, just disconnected it, and then used it again. But, YOLO, here we are. Okay, and relative. Let's get our upscale image into our depth anything into preview image and image out. Plug in our second ControlNet, pass that through. Add the depth ControlNet. Boop, 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 at 60%, same settings. Depth, blah, blah, blah. Let's try that. What did I do? I forgot the VAE again. Plug that VAE in to your ControlNet. That's going to take some getting used to. For the last 2 years, VAE or ControlNet nodes haven't had VAE inputs, so yeah. We don't really need this. We're getting it down here. Oh yeah. It's actually kind of exactly what I want, It's abstract, but let's try like cotton candy. Translucent ghost. That might work. Let's try that. Hey, rediff. Do 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 do. Okay, the cotton candy stuck a little hard to the image. Doesn't look like cotton candy. Does the order affect the output? I have no idea if ControlNet order affects the output, honestly. I haven't done tests to see if that matters, like swapping the order of them. It's a good question. You could make a workflow that just has the exact same setup, but then them swapped out with the same seeds and see if it makes a difference. I'd be curious. Oh, that translucent ghost is pretty scary. Let's try the Canny Edge preprocessor here. Maybe not the image magic one. Oh, no. What do you say? Okay. Less details. Low thresholds because 115. I bet this would be about like the same. 115. Yeah. So yeah, that's built in. You don't need to download those image magic tools unless you want to. Let's grab that Canny Edge and play with your low and high threshold to get the more or less detail in your image. Oh, glad to hear it, Bennett. Have I heard any Black Forest video model news? No. We're all waiting patiently. Perfect. So I'm gonna kill the Canny and just go back to depth and see how it lives. The 0.6 control net, wouldn't they be fighting each other? Sometimes. It all depends on how strong the control net is. So yeah, definitely play with the weights. Definitely play with the weights. Don't do anything that I'm doing as if it's canon or the way to do it. You know what I mean? I'm just providing options. I want you guys to play with stuff. Tell me what works better, you know? Like there's just too many options. There's too many permutations of what's possible to have like a best practices for this kind of stuff. So, yeah. Nothing I say is gospel. Perfection. Our translucent ghost with glasses is alive. You're never getting a Purz Laura. I have a Purz Laura, but you can't have it. I don't trust you guys. I know what I've done with JBoog's Laura, and I don't trust you guys. Yeah, control net ordering is definitely something to play with. I never tried. I always thought that the conditioning stuff all happened at the same time, but it might happen sequentially. I don't really know. It's a good question. All right. Well, let's try. We gotta try nacho cheese fountain. Right? Gotta try it. See, this workflow isn't scary, and we're doing Flux ControlNet. It's like 12 nodes. Make this legible enough that you guys can screenshot it here. You want to rebuild it yourself? Oh, yeah. Yikes. I hate it. He said with a giant smile. Okay. Let's try a discarded hot dog on the street. Mushy and broken. I hate those teeth a lot. Obviously, you know, we're just doing dumb meme pictures of me. Like, take this and take the pieces you've already made and redream them, you know, like, do something useful with this. This is just a tech demo. We're screwing around here. You can do real, you know, you can do real art with this if you want. It doesn't have to be nonsense. Perfect. It's a discarded hot dog on the street. It's mushy. It's all the things I asked for. And it's got my glasses on. Perfect. I don't know why it was served in a tin can, but, you know, whatever. What about like have anything less weird? Some of my stuff's weird. Let me find some non-weird stuff. I think I have some inits here somewhere. It's like a background. Yeah, let's try I'm just trying to find a good one that'll depth out nice. Let's try this one. Let's change the res also to match the sort of aspect of this image-ish. All right, let's turn this into a nacho plate. Actually, no, delicious sushi. This should be a pretty epic plate of nachos. Oh, here, I'll leave the workflow up if you guys want to screenshot that. All right. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not seeing the mountains at all. Are you plugged in? You are. Increase strength. Sushi looks pretty good, though. I'm not going to lie. Taz says control ordering does not give difference at all, so do them whatever order you wish. That was my actual inkling, because as far as I understand, it is not a sequential process, it is a parallel process. The control nets are injected at the same time. So order in my head shouldn't matter, but also I don't really understand the process enough to like have a proper opinion on that. So I'm glad somebody tried it. Because I mean, that's really the only way to know. I'm going to put it 100% strength for everything. It's the only way to really know is to try it. Yeah. We're trying a full 100% run here to see if we can get the get it to try to match the input, because it's really not doing the thing. And this sushi does not look delicious. Okay. There we go. We're starting to get the structure. Well, that's a real fine line there. So let's try 100% ControlNet, but have it back off at 60%, like end it at 60%. Maybe that's the magic for this one. But as you can see, there is no one size fits all. Even, excuse me, even for a ControlNet, like even the same ControlNet might have different settings. So that's what I mean about there's no canon, there's no best practices. It's whatever works in the moment. Okay, well, that's interesting because it is trying to stick to it, but then it just got like super confused as to what anything is. That's actually really interesting. I think there's just so many chunks in this image, maybe? I don't know. It's weird. I'm gonna try another one of these. This one with a little house here. I put it back to 60/60. We'll see what that does. Another thing you can do is let it dream wildly, let the control net latch on from like 25 to 75%, and then let it go again. So that's start 25 and 75. And what that does is it lets it dream wildly to start, and then it clamps on, does the control netting, and then lets go and lets it dream in the final detail, which tends to usually be best practice for doing animations and stuff, because then you get nice combination of what's being dreamed and the input source. But again, best practices are variable. Yeah, this one is not working at all. It got this little bit for sure. It didn't get any of that, and the rest of it's just goo. I think it really almost needs to be like a person or something. It might have to do with the actual like whiteness, like the closeness. Like it might need something that's got a lot of really close stuff to make it work well. Like this particular, excuse me, this particular depth model, because the other one seems to care less, like in SD15 and in SDXL and stuff. This one seems a little more finicky. Hopefully this will be some delicious sushi shaped like my face. All right, well, we got the glasses. It's getting whatever's like whitest, and it's getting the shape of the head, but you know, it's having trouble. It's having trouble. But it's there. You can definitely see it. So yeah, I mean, that's Flux ControlNet. There's so much more to it. You go play with the ControlNet models, go play with the different settings, and go play with Flux. I've been Purz. This has been Creative Exploration. I'm going to end it here because honestly, I think I've hit the wall for Flux ControlNet stuff. Mix him, match him, try with the FP8 if you're low on VRAM. Let me know what combinations work really well. Let me know what you guys have had success with. Let me know what fails. Hit up the Discord, hit up Anadoko, hit up all this stuff. I'll be back Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll be do poke face and live portrait expression playing. We'll do all that stuff. See if we can animate it. See what we can do with it. Yeah, just poke around. Poke around and poke face. All right. Can I run Flux on my 3080 10 gigabyte? Yes, probably, but you will need the FP8 GGUF, the smaller version of the model, which is the, I believe, Kajai released one. So KIJAI. Look for his model, and that will work for you with less VRAM, hopefully. It might not work with the ControlNets. Every time you add a ControlNet, adds more VRAM. So like I was saying about stacking ControlNets, there will be a point where you just run out of VRAM doing that. So, be wary of that. But yeah. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Flux ControlNet is cool. It's been a long road. I'm really excited to see if IP adapters drop soon. That will be a real game changer to have ControlNet and IP adapters in Flux. The only thing we'll need then is animate diff and motion model, and we'll be parity with 1.5 and SDXL. Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. If you have questions, you have concerns, hit up the Discord. People can help you. Give us as much information as you can. Post screenshots of your workflow. Don't post your workflows. Nobody's going to download your workflow and check it out because of viruses and stuff. So upload the screenshots of the workflow of the areas that are giving you trouble, relevant error messages, things like that, so that we have something to go on. Most of us have seen all these errors. So somebody will probably be like, oh, yeah, that's this, and save you 4 hours of screwing around. All right, thank you, everyone. Hit up the Patreon, hit up the YouTube. No, you're on the YouTube. Hit up the Discord. If you didn't subscribe or whatever to my notifications, please do so. It helps the channel grow and all that stuff, and then you get to find it when I have stuff. Or join the Discord. I always announce the shows day or two before, or day of if it's a last minute thing. Yeah, so if you're missing the shows, you want to get and see them live, hit the notification, join the Discord, get the dings. All right, everybody, Purz loves you. Have a great evening. We'll see you all in a couple days. Bye-bye.